So it's October now, right? October 4th. And it's warm. It's warm. The temperatures here in the Midwest, you can see, pretty hot, right? Almost in the, it says 80s, mid 80s, and that's how it's been. September, I was surprised when I got my utility bill, because I'm like, they're saying, ooh, the temperature dropped from, in August from, whatever, 70, 80, 75, almost 80 degrees. They'll never actually say 80 degrees the average, but they'll say, I think they always underestimate it, to 65 degrees or whatever. And I'm like, no freaking way. It's, I was basically resorting to use the air conditioner, and I try not to do that, but using the air conditioner almost 3 weeks out of September. 3 weeks in September because it was so hot. The last week of September, it cooled down. And that was nice, and we actually had one cool night where you could actually almost see your breath. And I was like, wow, well, this is the way it should be. And that's how you know that they're manipulating the weather. You get one day like that, with the poofy clouds and clear sky at night and cool, you can see your breath when it's supposed to be like that. So they've really been ramping it up with the aerosols and with the Haarp. Right now, currently, we're going through this, right? Before, it was just this region. Now, look at this. Almost the entire, it is 3/4 of the country right now being bombarded with this Haarp, pulsing of the ionosphere, cooking it. And this is high. This is extremely high, and it goes from all the way from basically North Texas up to the Dakotas and northern Minnesota, out there to, eastern Indiana and Ohio, and all the way out to almost Idaho. So it's a big stretch, and you can see the ripples, you can feel the heat, you can actually sometimes even feel the pressure like you're in a plane, the popping and stuff. I could actually see some of the Haarp rings today. It's a lot of weather modification going on, and so I guess this is what I'm saying is this is normal, right? This is supposed to be normal, that in October you're still using your air condition in the northern Midwest. But see, I know that's not true, because I know that global warming, as they tell us, does not exist. There is man-made climate change through the spraying of aerosols, and that's what this is right here. This is going to be tomorrow. It's from theweatherspace.com. You can check it out, and basically that's how they see are tracking the aerosols. So this is what we're looking at, and this is day 3, which I guess would be what, like Sunday. And we saw this recently, September 27th, this news that was coming out. Climate change is on ice. UN scientists reveal the world barely got any hotter in the last 15 years, but say that they are now 95% certain man is to blame for global warming. So we know that the aerosols that they're spraying in the Haarp, pulsing of the ionosphere, is actually creating the warming. So it could actually be colder. Theoretically, it should be colder than normal right now. But the last 15 years, what do you know they've been doing? For sure, they've been spraying since at least 96, massively, globally. So they're maintaining it so that it has not really getting hotter, but it's not getting cooler the way it should be if we were heading through this cooling period, a mini ice age, which many scientists are saying that we are. So I noticed after that, in the last 3 days or so, the mainstream media has been putting out just a disinformation blitz, news blitz, to counter that information that was coming out, saying hot and angry, yes, climate change could increase conflict. So it's a lot easier to lose your cool when it's hot outside. Just wait until your car's air conditioner is broken. So sociologists basically studied that conflict and violence rises on very hot days and nights. Never mind Haarp, never mind satellite transmissions, cell towers, Wi-Fi towers that are pulsing through your body, these frequencies constantly. This shooter, Navy Yard shooter, saying that he heard voices, that he was being told to do this. People going and doing just the most horrendous crimes, and God only knows what they're sneaking in there in these waves, whether it's silent sound type technology telling you what to do and just repeating it over and over again. Do this, go kill this, go buy this. But they're just going to blame it on the fact that they're spraying aerosols, they're making it warmer, they're pulsing people, affecting their brainwaves, and they're going to blame that on themselves. They're going to blame it on the victims. So that's real audacity, isn't it? I was watching this video and I heard this dude talking about how these frequencies, some of the things that they pulse out are actually animal frequencies, insect frequencies like bees and stuff like that. And you hear these stories about, sharks even, they're pulsing it at people, but kind of like he was saying a side effect is it actually does, affect the actual animals, triggering bears and stuff. You see the bear attacks and all that, and it could be just that they're hungry and stuff, but you see a lot of this, people getting swarmed by bees or whatever. This is possibly either nature striking back, or it could be these frequencies are actually being pulsed out, a bee frequency, a bear frequency, shark frequency, and they're going, they're attacking. Giant hordes are killing people in China, 28 dead, 18 in one city alone. Speaking of bugs, another thing, it's like, what the hell's going on here? You got all these bugs and insects and mosquitoes, and we're heading in here almost the 5th of October here in the Midwest. It's just crazy. Everything that they're doing is unnatural. So you're going to get unnatural results. I thought this was pretty interesting. This Bigfoot lives. Existence backed by DNA. Video claims Sasquatch. Genome Project researchers. The DNA samples and video footage of an alleged Bigfoot sleeping in Kentucky woods has been presented this week by researchers in Texas who says it belongs to a human hybrid. Now this is interesting because that person I was talking about before actually wrote the book, Stuart Swirlo. I don't agree with everything that he says, trust me. But if you put all the pieces together, there's a lot of truth and consistencies. What's happening and what comes out and what they're telling us, because they want us to know, and that is that there are things that do exist, and it was basically through genetics. You'd be like, oh, but DNA was only discovered in the 1940s. It's like horse shit, right? So what, and True Blood, Blue Blood, I think he has a layout of all the different types of species and stuff like that. He says that the Sasquatch was actually created a human hybrid. He says it's like the Anunnaki or something like that, and the purpose of it was to raise the consciousness of the animals. But who knows what it was? But you get these stories, about mermaids and stuff, or mixing of fish with women and stuff. That goes back to Atlantean times. But also, you could say, well, what brought down Atlantis? Well, one of the things that they were doing, too, was genetic manipulations, human-animal hybrids. But they were also using weather modification. They were using weather weapons, using the weather as a weapon, and that was one of the things that led to their demise. Total GMO ban being considered by Russia. Says Russia does not allow any cultivation of GMOs for commercial purposes. Their regulatory agencies recently suspended the import and use of American GM corn and followed a study suggesting a link to breast cancer and organ damage. Now they've ordered the same agencies to consider a possible ban on all GMO products or imports into Russia. You have to remember, Russia also has, they've been stopping shipments of beef, American beef that has ractopamine, and they've actually started importing, I think it was, importing Angus beef cows to just produce their own, because under the World Trade Agreement they have to accept these, poison toxin food that they're sending into them and forcing it on them. So they're like, no, we'll just grow our own. Then you have this Putin orders protectionism to help Russian manufacturers. He told international investors Wednesday that his government is planning protectionist measures to give an edge to domestic manufacturers and move that will cause, basically problems among fellow World Trade Organization members. So I always said you have to look out for Russia. You don't know. It's hard to tell how legitimate they really are, what's going on there. Are they just trying to sell things to them as far as, making U.S. aid and foreign declare themselves as foreign agents, right? They're really agents of the State Department to create subversion of their culture. That was a good thing, sending feminist bands and stuff like that, who try to upset the current norms, social norms, and basically saying that, we're not going to tolerate that. Are all these things, putting out a bill to say that you can't put homosexual propaganda into children through media and stuff? These are all good things. Are they doing that just to win over the Russian people, or are they actually legitimate? I couldn't really tell you. But I see junk like this: Syria, Russia 1, U.S. democracy 0. So, it's we don't really have a democracy. Like I said, you look at other countries, and you equate the fact that they actually have indigenous or primitives or nomads that actually exist in Russia and South America and Africa and different parts of the world, except for America and except for North, they put them into reservations so that you can actually equate with that with the least amount of freedom. And if you're not free at all, then there's no freaking way that you're going to be able to participate in some form of democracy. Also, as far as the whole thing about Russia winning, like I said, if they were playing the role as good cop, right, to the West as bad cop, to get Syria and Assad to admit guilt to something that they didn't do by handing over their weapons, their chemical weapons, then I really it would just be one for the New World Order or the powers that be, and 0 for freedom and the individuals and the masses, right? Putin's Syria role deserving of Nobel Peace Prize. So they gave Obama a Peace Prize too. Someone said that was when they bombed the moon. I don't know about all that, but there was also the thing when he received his prize. Excuse me. There was also the swirl in Norway. Since I'm in the conspiracy realm, why stop here? I heard recently that was basically a warning sign to the powers that be, not these powers that be, but we're talking about aliens, right? Or basically entities, different types of species that I believe live inside the planet. And I'm sure that they're sitting outside outside our planet right now too, with bases and ships. But I think that they do live inside the planet. I think they've been there a long time, and they have technology. And I think that was a warning shot to them to basically back off and know who's really running things. These beings that I'm talking about, there's a theory that they're going to up and leave before this solar storm or coronal mass ejections, whatever. You hear a lot about this. We just had a miss with an asteroid, I believe. That something is going to happen. You can feel it. I can feel that something big is going to happen here in the near future. At least, maybe I just hope so. Maybe I want it to happen because I want to see change. I know that some kind of change will rapid change or destruction of the order will allow us some freedom. So this whole government shutdown is weird because it's like if these beings, if these entities did get their technology, rapid technology, in the last 100 years for a reason, so that they can build their ships, so they can get the hell out of here before this comes because they know about it. It would make sense now. All of a sudden, there's a government shutdown. Okay, we're out of here, right? I just covered the article about what a Russian authority was being questioned and asked about aliens and how prepared they were for an alien invasion, and he answered it. It was a serious question. He answered it seriously, saying we're not able to do it. We don't have the capability to defend ourselves against any foreign threat in space. And they were talking about their space troops that they have, their battalions. So this is a good last minute here, a good way to leave off, encompassing all that I talked about here in these 3 videos, which was if these beings are gone, then and whatever's going to come is going to come. They leave us with a pile of shit. They poisoned our planet. They poisoned our air. They poisoned our water. And now we have to deal with it. But maybe we'll get some freedom out of it. I don't know. But the crappy part is that if these beings do go away, go off to whatever, I think it was Mars, to go underground or something like that, they're going to come back and they're going to have the same knowledge. And they're going to come back with the same knowledge, and we're going to take that apple and fall for it, right? To make our lives easier. And in the process, we're going to enslave ourselves. We're going to ruin the planet. But aliens aside, in a spiritual sense, these entities are sucking life and energy. And if we are in the era of the harvesting of souls, as the Mayans put it, then it's possible that these entities would want to drag as many other souls down with them into darkness as they can. Thank you.